In this video, I'll be discussing and demonstrating various stretches for the shoulders. I'm not recommending doing all of these stretches every single time you are stretching your shoulders. However, this is more of a library of stretches and a methodology of stretching and strengthening your shoulders in various positions. The first stretch we will do is called the sleeper stretch, and it stretches internal rotation of the shoulder. To get into the stretch, lie down on your side with your arm pointed straight out in front of you, hand pointed up to the ceiling. Then take your free hand, place that on the top of your other hand, and push your hand down towards the ground until you're met with resistance and a stretch across the top and front of your shoulder. Then all of these stretches will be held for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. You may choose to do less or more depending on your goals. However, that's a fair recommendation. Once you've held the stretch for an appropriate amount of time, then all of the stretches will be then turned into strengthening exercises with isometric contractions. So the isometrics in the sleeper stretch will be pressing the back of your hand into your other palm as if to lift your hand away from the ground. However, you'll be holding your arm in place, so these stretched muscles will begin to tense and strengthen. Hold these isometrics for 5 to 10 seconds or longer if desired. And then you will perform an isometric in the opposite direction, so trying to push your hand further down into the ground using the muscles in your shoulder, not the free hand. Pressing further into the stretch, holding that isometric for 5 to 10 seconds. Then repeat that 2 to 3 times and switch sides. On the other side, everything is just reversed. Elbows goes out and in front of you, hand up to the ceiling, arm down, isometrics up and down. Now while we're on the ground, we'll have a stretch for abduction, or moving your arm away from you. That can be done by laying flat, putting your arm to the side, and then rolling back till you get a stretch in the front of your shoulder. And you can change the angle of the stretch till you find that area that's most tight. Then your isometrics from this position will be pressing your hand down into the ground from the stretched position, which will strengthen the stretched muscles. And then trying to lift the hand off the ground, tightening the muscles on the back of the shoulder, and repeating that 2 to 3 times. Now, abduction can also be done on a wall or a doorway by doing the same thing, pressing your hand into the wall, turning away till you get a stretch in the front of your shoulder and into your chest. Then your isometrics are pressing into the wall and lifting away. Now from abduction, we also have adduction. That's done by bringing your arm across your chest, taking your other arm, hooking it underneath your elbow, and then pulling further across your chest. And here you'll feel a stretch here on the back side of the shoulder. Hold for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Then your isometrics from here are trying to bring your arm back away from your chest, but holding it in place, tensing the stretched muscles, and then using the muscles in the shoulder on the inside to bring your arm closer into your chest, holding those isometrics 5 to 10 seconds, 2 to 3 repetitions in each direction, and then switching sides. And we'll also have shoulder flexion, or bringing your arm up overhead, which can be done with a stability ball. It's also easier to show on a stability ball. I'll also have a variation on the wall. So you come into a tall kneeling position, have the ball fingertip length away, about as far away as you can get it while still holding on. Then sit your hips back and lean forward. And the stretch here will be underneath the shoulder. Hold that for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Then the isometrics will be done alternating, pressing down into the ball with one hand while you lift off with the other, and switching sides, holding for 5 to 10 seconds. Pressing down will tighten the stretched muscles here underneath the shoulder. Lifting off will tighten the muscles on top of the shoulder. This can be done on a wall very similarly by sitting your butt back, hands on the wall, lifting off, pressing down, and switching sides. And while your arms are up overhead, you can additionally stretch the arm by bringing it back behind your head, deepening the stretch here along the side. You can even tilt to the side, which takes us out of the zip code of the shoulder, but it's worth showing while we're here. Then your isometrics are trying to bring your elbow back down to your side, or trying to reach further, trying to get your hand deeper down your back. From this position, you can also stretch both shoulders at the same time, holding your hands behind your back in between your shoulder blades, and then creating a bit of a tug of war. If you can't get your hands together, this can also be done with a dowel rod, a broomstick, or a strap. So you can pull up, stretching this shoulder in the front, and then fight back and forth. Or you can keep it isometric and switch sides. Then with the dowel, we have more options for internal and external rotation. So internal rotation is what we were doing in the sleeper stretch. To get into internal rotation, you'll hold the dowel across and in front of you. Bring your arm in front of the dowel and then reach down and grab the bottom. You can see my arms at 90-degree angles, which is a good place to start. However, this is also internal rotation, as is this and this. For the purposes of demonstration, we'll stay here. Bring your arm into internal rotation. And then the isometrics will be fighting to get your arm out of internal rotation while holding onto the dowel. You can see the dowel bending. Or trying to lift your hand up off the dowel and bring your arm further into internal rotation. Holding for 5 to 10 seconds. 30 seconds to 2 minutes on the stretch. 5 to 10 on the isometrics. And then switching sides. Again, the arm goes in front, reaches down to grab the dowel, and then pull down on the top to bring your arm into internal rotation. For external rotation, your arm will go in front of the dowel. However, you'll reach back and up. Again, there are various degrees that will all be external rotation. And you reach across, grab the bottom of the dowel, and bring your arm further back by lifting up the bottom of the dowel, bringing your shoulder into external rotation. Hold for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And then we have the isometrics, which are again to bring the arm out of external rotation, holding it isometrically, bending the dowel, or not, depending on how strong your dowel is, and then lifting off, trying to get your hand off the dowel, get your shoulder deeper into external rotation using the muscles of the shoulder. Repeating as necessary and switching sides. Your arm comes across, reaches up, the other arm comes across, grabs the bottom of the dowel and lifts up. You can also put the dowel here on your hip or on your abdomen. Then you can really create some force. So that dowel is not going to go anywhere unless you can push it through your hip. Take a video of that, or don't do it. Then you'll have that stretch, the isometrics, going in both directions as needed, and relaxing. With the dowel, it's more of a dynamic stretch. You have, I think they're usually called shoulder dislocates. If you dislocate your shoulder, don't do this stretch. But it's a nice dynamic stretch, bringing your arms up and over. You can adjust the width of your arms. Bring your arms closer in will create more of a stretch. Further away will be a little bit easier. And then before and after any stretching that you do for any joint, but especially the shoulders, I recommend controlled articular rotations, which I go into more detail elsewhere on my channel. But for the shoulder blades, they go forward, up, back, and down, and back, up, forward, and down. Doing them before you're stretching gives you an idea of where your joint is at and helps to warm up the joint. Doing them after is a nice cool down and lets you know where your joint is at, kind of saves your progress, uploads that new range of motion into your brain, helps bring nutrients in and waste out of the joint. So we have the shoulder blades and then the shoulder joint. Turn your hand out, bring your arm across the middle of the body, up past your ear. Your hand will turn over as it goes back around behind you and at the hip. Retrace your steps coming back around to the front. Be sure to do both sides. Don't push through any pain in the stretches or the cars, the controlled articular rotations. And I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your energy.